Welcome in, folks, for another episode of What's Bruin. It's Chris and Gayle. We have actual hockey to talk about. Gayle, are you excited that hockey is back, or was it everything you were waiting for?
I am definitely excited the hockey is back. If I'm being honest, is it everything I was hoping for? No, but it's better to have crappy hockey than no hockey.
Well, it's also preseason. I,
Right.
I, I think I think we have to remind people of that.
Yeah.
Preseason.
Oh,
This
I think I said that about 15 times in one post yesterday.
this it doesn't matter. Like it does, but it doesn't. Dom already in the comments. Dom, hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining us here.
Hi, Don.
So, do you want to start with the debacle of practice lines and what all that came to be with Pasternak not being on the ice and all that fun stuff, or do you want to skip right to the games?
Let's go right to the games because, in all honesty, the practice lines are the practice lines, and even the preseason lines are the preseason lines. You know what I mean? Like, we still haven't seen full lineups of, and we'll eventually get there to where Marco Sturm will put out, his full. I think we saw a lot more veterans in. Sorry, I'm laughing at Tom's comment. I think we saw a lot more veterans than we're used to in game one of the preseason than we would have normally under normal circumstances. I think that Marcos making the comment that, it's the home game, the players are pissed. They want to play. They have something to prove. They have a chip on their shoulder that allowed him to put as many veterans, especially it was the home game to start the preseason. So you put out, other than Pasternak not being there, the goaltending, obviously, which, all right, let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Which one?
You always have a very strong opinion about Michael DiPietro. So let's start with his performance in game one against the Capitals.
There was something that you mentioned real quick about the lines, and I promise I'll get right back to him. But when you mention the lines, I want to remind people that even Marco Sturm said straight up the lines you see in practice and in preseason games will not be the lines you see for the opening night roster.
Oh, yeah.
So none of it, like, it means something, but it doesn't mean as much as like what people are taking it to mean. Now, I'm not surprised DiPietro got the first game out of the gate. I'm not surprised that Korpisalo got the second game out of the gate. Honestly, I kind of expected it. It's what you're looking at. Those two are the ones that are battling.
Right.
Zazacek looked like he should,
But if we're being honest, is DiPietro really battling Korpisalo?
He's fighting for the spot, i.e.,
He's
it's
fighting
Korpisalo's to lose.
But he has to knock Korpisalo out of it. It's Korpisalo's to lose. It's not like it's a true battle. Korpisalo is your backup goaltender unless DiPietro knocks him out of that spot.
Absolutely. And they're going to give him every opportunity that he can have to get it. Unfortunately, it's also going to mean every opportunity for him to fail and show why he's not capable of doing that job.
Right.
Now, I love Dom's comment. Here's Zazacek for backup. Dom, don't get people started because some people will actually start looking for that. They don't like Korpisalo that much. That they would rather have anybody on the bench that's cheaper simply because they're cheaper.
Well, and I was just gonna say that it's not that they don't like Korpisalo or don't think that he's a decent backup. They don't like his price tag.
It is what it is. Like I would just simply say get over it. Like
I'm with you.
That's all I can say.
Because there were times last season that he took the net from Swayman and the Bruins didn't roll with it when he should have gotten starts. You know what I mean? Like he earned his paycheck last year.
The team even admitted that they should have turned to him more,
Mhm.
but they didn't. So
Right.
that tells you right there that they have more confidence than most fans seem to have in Korpisalo.
Okay.
DPA first game though.
Okay. So let's get your take on DiPietro. Was he not tracking the puck? Was he out of position? Was it nerves? Was it what we see in the AHL is not the quality of goaltender he would be in the NHL? What's your take on DiPietro and whether or not he can actually make this roster?
He didn't look ready. The second and third goals were both ones he should have had. Like he was tracking it okay. Um, Dom says, I said it many times, which he has. Unless Michael DiPietro turns into UC Soros, he's not an NHL goalie who can give you more than 15 starts.
Right.
And a lot of it comes down to a number of factors, and you mentioned a lot of them. His puck tracking was not great. It was good. It was AHL level puck tracking. He
Mhm.
would lose it often in traffic. We saw Korpisalo struggle with some of that too, but he was also struggling on more NHL type plays.
Right.
So it's a different level of struggling to track the puck. Zazacek tracked the puck better than DiPietro did, honestly.
Mhm.
His side to side movements were smoother than DiPietro's were. Um, he looked more confident in the crease, and this is someone who's in his first game in the US, like
Right.
on new ice. So that right there tells me there's a confidence issue. There's a tracking the puck issue. Like Dom said, he's got to be far and away over athletic to compensate for where his deficiencies are, like UC Soros does, and he's just not that person.
Right.
He's going to be great at the AHL, and if all you do is look at his box score, that's fine. But you're going to call for this guy to come up, and he's not going to be able to provide what you need him to in a backup role. And don't get me wrong, Korpisalo was not significantly better, but he was better. He was tracking the puck a little bit more. And DiPietro's glove side was weaker than Korpisalo's as well. Korpisalo looked to be a lot of rust. He had quite a few times where he kind of was making like a jabbing, almost like a stab motion, trying to come forward with the glove while trying to make the save. But if you look at the second, third, and even the fourth goal that Korpisalo gave up, the second goal, he really had a hefty stab at that. That's the one that was turned over at the blue line.
Mhm.
The third one was off of another giveaway, but he was squared up on that second shot, on that second goal. And that's why I think it's just some rust, because first game of the preseason, we have to see if that comes out of his game. But the third goal, it was the giveaway that was received right in the middle of the circles, one-on-one. I forget who had the shot, but he was in good positioning. He just didn't have the backward motion. There was something in the momentum shift where his full body weight wasn't going with the play. And so he just didn't get there in time, but he was tracking it all the way.
Mhm.
And then the fourth goal, I'm not even sure he saw that one. That one you saw, that was the Gavrikov goal.
Right.
First of all, the patience Gavrikov had on that shot, he waited. Lachmelis was tied up with someone right in front of him. And if you look, his momentum was carrying him away from, like, he was carrying him towards his right, towards the blocker side. And then he kind of had to throw the glove up at it at the last second.
Right.
And so I don't think he really saw the release on that shot to get a good look at it.
Right. Well, and the other thing is too is that DiPietro faced 21 shots, gave up 5 goals, and Korpisalo faced 38 shots.
Yeah. And Dom adds, in my opinion, the only thing I would change in Zazacek is how far he comes out to challenge shooters. And that could just be the North American ice and getting used to it. I think that's what it is. He's got the confidence from what I've seen. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does. I don't think he makes it past the first cut. because I don't think he's realistically fighting for the backup position behind Swayman.
Well, it also depends on if Marco Sturm gives him and goalie Bob, if they give him the opportunity. So far, he's only played a period and a half.
Right.
You know,
That's what I mean. I think he's going to go down and be in competition to take that starting job in Providence.
Right. And where he doesn't have to clear waivers.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's because waivers are what, 12 days away?
They're tomorrow. They start tomorrow.
I thought it was 2 days before the season.
Am
I reading that wrong?
I saw a tweet on it earlier. Let me see if I can find it. It was from one of the, ironically, I think one of the Blue Jacket writers that I follow. But I'm pretty sure he said that they start tomorrow. Now you got me questioning it, though.
Well, I may have it backwards because I saw a tweet today, too, and I could have it that I misread what he wrote.
NHL waivers starts up 12 days before the start of the regular season. That means it starts tomorrow.
Okay. So I read it
from
wrong.
Mark Sheik
I read it wrong.
The Hockey Writers.
Yeah,
but he does a great job covering Columbus. Yeah, and as Dom is confirming, waivers start tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think we'll see that first major cut until end of the week.
I'm not even sure we don't see that first major cut until after the Philadelphia preseason game on Saturday.
That's what I mean. Their first single session practice isn't scheduled until Sunday the 28th.
Right.
So I don't know if we'll see it before the game, after the game, somewhere in between. I wouldn't expect it.
It might be before. They may, Sweeney has done that many times where, Maka will say, this is the roster that I want for Philadelphia, and the few other players that I think, like, these players are not going to see any more preseason action, and Sweeney will send them down, so I mean, they've done that in the past many, many times. So
yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if someone like Joey Abadi got sent down. Maybe they'll give him that game in against Philly, but like Ty Gallagher, he doesn't even have an NHL contract. He's not gonna get around. I don't think we'll see him in a preseason game. I'd love to, but Dom says they will make cuts in time for Providence camp whenever.
Yeah, but even so, like I'm not sure. Like the players that are literally fighting for spots right now, like Riley Duran is not gonna he's not up there. You know what I mean? Like
I liked what I've seen. I've liked what I've seen from him.
Oh, I'm 100%. But what we've seen from Esimont, what we've seen from oh my God, my brain.
Washmelis is going to stick around. He's fighting.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many people right now that, I mean, they're going to give more looks because, like, some of these players have already had 2 games. Yep. Merck hasn't even cracked the lineup yet. That's not a good sign. It's not a good sign that Mikhailov has not cracked the lineup.
He might get that game in Philly, the Philly game. And then depending on how he does, be part of the next cuts. But I mean, again, we'll have to see.
But that's tough because you have, like Fraser Minton has 2 games. Who else?
Lysell has 2 games, I think. Patra has both, right?
Yep, Patra had both.
Blumel has both. I think Blumel's on this team. I think the way they're using him, who they're using him with, I mean, he's getting significant power play time. I think they're looking at him as someone who should be on this team.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm looking at these young players, the ones that are sticking out right now that should stick around at least through the first cuts is Blumel, Patra, Minton, and Husadinov.
Now, I can see them keeping up, like, I think people will freak out on this, but I can see them keeping a guy like Patrick Brown up because he
I said
knows
young.
how
I
to play.
said
I know.
young. I'm
I
not
know.
talking veterans. I said
No, I
young.
know. I'm just saying people are going to freak out when Patrick Brown's not cut, because they will. But a player like that, I mean, even Duran might fall into it because they know how to battle in practice
Mhm.
to help go. Because I remember seeing someone freaked out about I think it was the Minton Poitras Blumel line. It was in a practice lines tweet or something like that. And they freaked out because it meant something for Matthew Poitras. I'm like, no, what you need to look at is look at who he's with. He's with two other guys. They are trying to see which one of those three guys drives the line.
Right.
That's what they're looking for. Dom says, tell sign will be if they change the groups around and group B may be the ones to go. They still would like to keep them around to learn the system as long as they can. Yeah. I don't know when the cut will come, but as Dom mentioned, it'll be in time for Providence camp.
Right.
I don't know exactly when that one's supposed to start, but it's coming. I mean, we've seen some other teams already start to make some of their first cuts, cut some PTOs and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, their opening night is October 12th. It's a Sunday. That's their first game, so it's right after the Bruins start their season. So, and they've got to have their roster, well before that and ready to go.
Yeah, but I would say so far the newcomers, the young kids, Blumel has really stood out in a positive way. Again, how they're using them, I think, definitely bodes well for that as well. But in that first game, Poitras also looked decent. He's not letting hits overtake his game when he takes a big hit.
Them. Like
he's being targeted.
He's taking a lot of hits.
He's being targeted, but he is no longer letting them take him out of the game.
That's true. Well, I think he did that last year. He learned that last year in Providence.
Exactly.
To not allow them.
Exactly. Let's see. NHL players that have played at least 100 games can only play a max of 2 preseason games, so that might play a bit into how long they keep some of the younger guys. Maybe they have enough.
But that means the Dorff is done for the whole pre.
I don't. I'd have to look into that rule with
Yeah, you froze
okay?
for a second.
Okay,
yeah,
it was
I
me.
can hear you, but you froze. But like Zadorov played the first 2 games. So that means he's done.
Dom, if you can confirm that rule, if you're still in the comments, it doesn't sound right, but I haven't gone in. And that might be part of the new CBA that goes into effect next year when they have 4 preseason games instead of 6. And that might be part of the new one. That would be my guess, because when you have 6 preseason games, to do it that way doesn't really make a lot of sense mathematically. You don't have enough players with under 100 games, but when you have 4, it would. So we'll check on that. What have you thought of Tanner Jeannot?
I haven't seen enough of him yet.
He hasn't done anything to stand out, in my opinion. Like, he played in the first game. He was on the line with Minton and Liesel. I think they like that. Like, we've often talked, and I know Dom and I talked about it a lot. They like to do their pairings.
Right. Well, and Sturm made that perfectly clear that he was working more on pairs and seeing if he could build chemistry on 2 players and then adding in a third. So but again, that first game, the whole team looked like crap.
Oh yeah, everyone except the number 2 goaltender. But I mean, it was also Minton actually didn't look too bad in that one.
No, I mean, as a whole, the team looked like crap.
Yes.
Individual players had some good, battles and some good, plays at times, but the turnovers was horrible.
I will say one of the big takeaways that I had too are Steves and Arvidsson not afraid to shoot the puck.
Right.
Not afraid to shoot from anywhere.
Right.
Do you think if he was healthy, we would have seen Geeky Lindholm Pasternak in that first game.
Probably. Yeah, I think we would have. I think if he had started camp on time, I think Marco Sturm would have put the three of them together, being that first home game. Yeah,
So
I think we would have.
So then, do we see Blumel, Patra, and Arvidsson? Is my question. But Dom is confirming that it's part of the new CBA, but it also takes effect this season. So that sounds weird, but we'll look into it. It may play a factor into when they cut some people, for sure. But we'll see. I mean, at the end of the day, they're trying to get down to 23-man roster anyway. So a lot of them are going to get cut. It's just a matter of when. So
yeah.
Let me just pull up the lineup for the second game here. Or unless, was there anything else from the first game?
No, I mean, the first game was the first game. A lot of it was nerves. A lot of it was, rust. A lot of it was lack of chemistry. Because I mean, literally, they had 3 days, new system, new coach, new teammates.
Yeah, I'm not putting too much stock into
They
it.
didn't even talk about the specialty teams, let alone practice them going into the first game. So I mean, how can you no.
I will ask you this though, because obviously we're talking about the pairs. Geeky Lindholm as a pairing, does that allow you the option to move Pasternak back on a line with someone like Pavel Zacha, where he's had success before? And Dom adding in that he posted his lineup and the cap today. Yeah, I'm working on something for the first round of cuts as well. So we'll take a look. But yes, I will actually go pull up Dom's lineup and we can take a look at that in a minute. But thoughts on the idea of moving Pasternak around?
I don't know. I think it depends on what other chemistry you see built. So I mean, Middlestat and Blumel had some pretty good chemistry already in last night's game, right?
Yeah, I like those two together.
So having Zacha on that line and having Pasternak with Lindholm and Geeky, that gives you 2 solid lines. Right? Because then your third line, you're looking at probably Eastimont with either Minton or Patra as your pairing. And then your fourth line is your fourth line. But so no, I'm not 100% sold on breaking up.
Oh, I'm not saying that you're sold on it. I'm just saying, like, I mean, obviously with 4 games left in camp, I would at least consider it, because if you can have spread out scoring and still be successful, then that's what you need.
Right. No, I understand that. But you're looking at putting Middlestat and Blumel on a third line then.
So
that doesn't work.
I why not?
Because again, Zacha works better. Zacha works better on the wing. Yes, he's great at center, but for some reason in Boston, he's thrived on the wing and not at center.
Zacha.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you had Zacha on the left and you had Pasternak on the right,
who's in the middle?
I mean, at that point, what if you put Casey Middlestat in the middle? What if you put Patra in the middle?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't think that Middlestat has what it takes to center a line with David Pasternak.
I think he's showing better chemistry with Matej Blumel. So I'd want to keep that together.
Right. So why are you going to break them up to put him with Zacha and Pasternak? That makes no sense. When Pasternak already has the chemistry with Elias Lindholm and Morgan Geekie. And then you have 3 scoring threats on that top line. And then your second line, you've got Blumel, Middlestat, and Zacha, which gives you again 3 scoring threats.
Well,
And then
I've got Dom's lines here, or at least his depth chart. We'll
hey,
call it.
look at that. Who has the same lines as Dom?
I think he cheated on this. Dom is also correcting what he said earlier about the CBA. The games limit does not take effect this year. I was going to say that doesn't sound right.
Right.
But
the only thing I would change on Dom's lineup personally is I would put Easymont with Fraser Minton and Tanner Jeannot with Sean Corrali. That's what I would do. I would flip those 2.
I don't even know if I'd have Beecher on here.
Well, he's one of your, he's one of your healthy scratches.
I know, but I'm not sure if he is. I mean, I'll put it this way. I understand the thought process. I'd rather have Beecher on the 9th floor than Matthew Poitras. I'd rather Poitras, if he's not going to be in my top 9, he's my 1C in Providence. Matthew Poitras, that is.
Right.
So, and so far.
Yeah, and you get him the reps. So God forbid a Casey Middlestat goes down, Poitras your call up.
Yeah, Middlestat goes down. I mean, even Elias Lindholm, if he goes down, if the back thing pops up again or something like that, that's where you are going to want a Matthew Poitras to fill in. I think Fraser Minton is doing a great job solidifying himself as a 3C.
Mm-hmm.
He's showing a great 2-way game, heavy on the defense.
Mm-hmm.
He's been decent in the faceoff dot. He's played very well with Blumel, with Arvidsson, with Easymont. Like, he's played well with pretty much anybody they've paired him with.
He's definitely right now this season. He's in your bottom 6, and he could be paired with anyone in your bottom 6.
I wouldn't be surprised if you saw him on the wing in a game as well, just because, one, he's earning a spot on the roster. Now it's a matter of, is he taking your 3C spot? If he is, that means now you're going to have to see Zacha on the wing, Middlestat on the wing. I like Middlestat Blumel, how that pairing has been working. But they wanted Zacha and Blumel to be together. But it has that's why I'm not against.
But we haven't seen Zacha in a preseason game yet.
Right.
We haven't seen Zacha. We haven't seen Pasternak in a regular season game, in a preseason game yet. You know what I mean? So he can't.
Without seeing Jeannot in more games, Murat Hustadinov is earning himself a spot on this team too.
Well, and they haven't even played Sean Corrali yet.
Right. Or Kastelik. You'll correct me a few more times.
Kastelik played last night.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, because he was on the wing with Farinacci.
He was paired with Farinacci and Beecher.
Which that line didn't really... Farinacci's a bottom 6 call-up. Beecher at this point is playing like a call-up. Like, he hasn't done anything to stand out. I would think right now, at least, he's in Providence. Mm-hmm. For me. I could very easily make the case for 3 or 4 players.
You have to remember, Beecher had a procedure in the offseason.
That's why I said right now. Right. It could change.
But he had a procedure in the offseason. It's only 1 game, 5 practices. He may have some rust. You know what I mean? We haven't seen David Pastrnak yet. Yeah, he's had 2 practices.
Yeah. You know who we've only seen 1 game of too, and we haven't talked a lot about? Fabian Lysell.
Yeah. Oh, he's 2 games. He was
I know,
involved.
but we haven't seen a lot of him, but he
Right.
hasn't been screwing it up. I've liked his two-way game.
No, he's been so the thing is that he last year he was more noticeable because of his turnovers and his lack of two-way play.
Yeah.
And this year he's quietly flying under the radar because the lack of turnovers and his two-way game has been better.
Yes.
So that could be something that he could end up in your bottom six.
I think he could end up being on Mitten's wing.
Yeah.
On your third line. I really wouldn't. I liked what we saw from Minton, Liesel, and Easymont together last night overall. And as Dom points out, I don't know that they want to put Beecher on waivers. I don't think they want to either, but
They don't want to put anyone on waivers, but that's the business.
plus if you do it at the right time, I think he gets through. Like,
I mean, the thing is he's young. He hasn't hit his ceiling yet. He could be one of those players that unfortunately will thrive outside of Boston. Do I want to see Beecher leave? Absolutely not. But I want to see the Beecher that earned his role that first season. We didn't see him last year, but again, he was playing through something. He had a procedure. So I want to see the Beecher that we saw that came back up after being, sent down in 2022, 2023.
he is also damn good on the face-off dot. Like he is one of your most reliable in the dot right now.
But is that enough to keep him in your lineup? Is he a liability
in this
everywhere
lineup?
else?
It might be.
But is he a liability everywhere else?
Only in the offensive zone.
Only.
He can't score. That's his biggest issue.
Right. But again, you can have, depending on where the face-off is, you can have someone else take the face-off. It doesn't have to be Mark Kastelik or Shark, you know what I mean? Like you can have they did it and they've done it many times where someone will take a face-off and then get off the ice. So it depends on where the face-off is and different stuff like that. So yes, because you're not going to have John Beecher out there trailing with 45 seconds left in an offensive zone face-off or a defensive zone face-off. You're not going to have so yes, he's strong, but not with 45 seconds left. You're not going to have him out there.
Dom points out everyone should look at Beecher's face-off stats. All right, let's do that. Let's do Dom's experiment here. I'll pull him up real quick. I know he's been solid, but now let's see his face-off percentage.
Yeah, he's over 50%.
54% and 51.8 last year.
Right.
So now let's see how he compared to everyone else last year. Because last year was not. Let's see. Fair enough. Let's look at someone who took more than 7 faceoffs. Lindholm was at 55.2. Kastelik was at 54. Zaka's at 53. Middlestead's at 52. These are last year, 51.9, and Beecher was at 51.8. Even Vinny Lettieri had 11, and he was at 22 draws, and he was at 50%. Middlestead had the smallest sample size, winning 98, losing 91. So, of your guys who took a few hundred of them, he was your worst. So,
I mean,
Coyle.
Morgan Geekie was at 46% last season.
Geekie only, he took 374,
right,
versus 500 something. So,
yeah, but Geekie's, you know what I mean. He wasn't used.
No, he definitely wasn't. And Coyle was actually by far your worst regular in the dot. Let's see. So last year he won 3.8 faceoffs more than he won out of every 100. That's not great. So why do we keep calling him great at faceoffs? Yeah, Dom. I mean, if that's the case, and that's the only argument I would give for keeping him around, who cares about waivers?
Well, that's why I'm saying, like, you're not going to have him out there when you have other options to take that face off. He's not Patrice Bergeron on face offs. He's
No.
not David Krejci on face offs.
He's not even Elias Lindholm.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you look at this lineup and you look up down the middle who they have, and Middlestat, like you said, it's such a short sample size. But if you look at his overall last year in Colorado, he was at 42% at nearly 800 face-offs. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and he's hovered around 50, between 45 and 50% for most of his career.
So let's look at the roster and who can take face-offs for the Bruins. You have Kastelik, you have Corrali, and I'm starting from the bottom going up.
Yeah.
You have Kastelik, you have Corrali, you have Beecher, you have Middlestat, you have Mitten, you have Poitras, Lindholm, Zacha, and Geeky, right? Just off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Who's the worst?
If he's not the worst, he's one of the bottom 2 or 3. So
right.
My other question would be, what else does he do that excels? He's fast.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if you look at his stats, what he did that first year when he, got called up and, when he made the team out of camp and then he got sent down and then he came back up, he had a strong second half of that season. And that was when he had 54%, but he only played 52 games. You know what I mean?
He also only had 10 points.
Right.
I think your ceiling with Murat Hustadinov is significantly higher, and you still get the speed.
Right.
So, like, I
like Beecher. He's a great kid, and maybe he bounces back. Maybe he did have an issue that lingered last year, like Elias Lindholm did at the beginning of the season. Maybe he bounces back, but he didn't show that so far in preseason.
I also don't think it would hurt him overall to get some time in Providence. I'm looking right now. He played 9, so 70. He's played 87 games in Providence total. 87. Like, and he didn't get a lot. His time in Michigan, 31, 16, and 34. Like, he's never lit up the score sheet, but maybe if you can get him through waivers at the right time, you can have him go work on the offensive part of his game a little bit.
Right.
Dom says, I think Beecher fits the way Stern wants to play more than Sacco and Montgomery. Maybe.
That's the other thing too, is that we're still trying to figure out what the identity. I mean, I know that they want to be hard to play against. They know that their identity has to be, beat you down type of play.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sacco didn't change Montgomery's system at all. And while I like Joe Sacco, there's a reason why in the last 10 years, he was not the head coach of the Boston Bruins, and he kept getting overlooked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and why he didn't coach anywhere else either.
Right, after Colorado.
Yeah. And how many times last year, I know Dom probably can attest to it, but I know you and I had a couple conversations on it as well. How many times last year did we look at Joe Sacco's coaching job for a game and go, he didn't make any adjustments?
Right.
I mean, how many times did we look and go, he should have pulled Swayman at this point, or this point, or this point, or this point?
That drove me bananas.
Like, it's just one of those things where Can he be a great assistant coach and not a great head coach? Yes.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine. If that's what he is, that's what he is. Not a knock on the guy. Just
I think it's way too early to see what this team is going to be because one, Marco Sturm's still trying to figure everyone out. And two, the players are trying to figure out what the tweaks are to the new system and what roles they fit in.
Yeah. Yeah, and I do think, as Dom mentioned, that I mean, if you've looked at the line combinations, also in practice, in these games, like with the exception of when you see Gigi Lindholm, Arvidsson, but even still, even with that, you've got your forechecker, your banger in Geeky, who also has a hell of a shot. But then you have your shooter on the other side, whether it's Pastrnak, whether it's Arvidsson, and then you have your strong two-way player in the middle.
I keep forgetting about Arvidsson. But again,
Arvidsson gives you flexibility. You play on both sides.
It's only been 2 games, and he slotted into where Pastrnak would have been, and I don't see Sturm going, okay, Pasta, we're not going to put you with Lindholm or Geeky. You I don't know. It just this lineup may have too much, but not enough.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That's why it's going to be very interesting to continue to see, because I have no doubt, as I pointed out before, Marco Sturm doesn't plan on using the same lines that he's using right now. And which is why I think if you look it up, like Mitten Esimont, I think is the pair, not Mitten Liesel.
Right.
Because Liesel is the one fighting for a job. Minton has basically earned 3C right now. Now, it could end up being Esimont, Mitten, Patra. We haven't seen Patra play on the wing at all.
It could be Arvidsson on that third line.
And it could be Arvidsson. I mean, I wouldn't hate that. Esimont, Mitten, Arvidsson.
Because if Mittelstadt and Blumel form that much chemistry, then they could be on a line with Pavel Zacha, and then you have Arvidsson with Minton and Blumel.
Well, then where's Esimont fit in? Dom says, I've been talking pairs for years, and it was good to hear Sturm say it. I think his pairs will be a left shot and a right shot who can take draws on each line.
Yeah, except for the first line, they're all right shots.
Yeah. But that also makes me wonder whether or not he will consider, again, keyword being consider, what happens if you can put Arvidsson on that line full time or Blumel on that line. And then move, because let's face it, you can have a pair and then put Pastrnak with anybody, and that line will be fine.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily, because if you looked at the beginning of the season last year, Pastrnak had no chemistry with Elias Lindholm. Elias Lindholm, and Pavel Zacha. Let me finish. They couldn't find the chemistry with the three of them. The Geeky ended up on the 9th floor. And yes, I got this stupid thing again.
I think as you did a thumbs up, it recognized it.
But so Geeky ended up on the 9th floor, okay? And then Pavel Zacha got moved down with Brad Marchand. So that's the thing. It's not just about you can throw Pastrnak anywhere, because Pastrnak struggled because he couldn't find chemistry.
Okay, two things on that. Two things on your point there. One, Jim Montgomery threw lines in a blender every 5 minutes in game. So no one got chemistry with anybody.
I disagree with you with Pastrnak, Lindholm.
Hold on.
They were together for a good portion of the beginning of the season.
And Lindholm was hurt. So you weren't getting Elias Lindholm.
It doesn't matter. What I'm saying is, though, they couldn't build that chemistry. Just because Pastrnak is a sniper does not mean he can build chemistry with Fraser Minton. He can build chemistry with Casey Middlestat. They have to build chemistry with him. You know what I mean? And so he has chemistry with Lindholm. He has chemistry on the current roster. He has chemistry with Lindholm, Zacha, and Geeky. Those are the three players that he has undeniable chemistry with. We haven't seen him with Arvidsson. We haven't seen him with Easymont. We haven't seen him with Minton. We haven't seen, you know what I mean? We don't know if he can build that chemistry. But if you're Marco Sturm, why are you taking the chance of saying, okay, we're not going to put Pastrnak with our two best players? That makes no sense. When this team is going to struggle for goals, why are you not going to put your best offensive line out together when they have proven chemistry that down the stretch they carried the team last year?
Let's see. How many players did David Pastrnak play with that in his career that scored 33 goals? Why do I know? Why do I feel like Dom has that answer? I don't think he's played with anybody who's scored more than 33 goals, other than maybe Marchand and Bergeron. Let me see if I can. Actually, Bergeron's high was 32. What was Marchand's high? Marchand's high 36, 39, 37. So how many times did David Pastrnak play in his career? Play with players? At least one. But he also hasn't had a variety. Like, I think you could count, with the exception of special teams, you could count the number of people that Pastrnak has had as line mates over the course of his career at the NHL level fairly easily, because he was with Marchand and Bergeron for so long. And then it's been
David
Elias
Krejci.
and Geeky,
David Krejci.
Krejci a bit, and Zacha.
Because that was the whole thing of Pastrnak, Bergeron, and Marchand. That's why everyone called it the perfection line.
Yeah, which we're not using that.
No, I'm not saying that that's what it was. But even that year, what was it? 21, 22, right?
The record season?
No, not that. They weren't together the record season. David Krejci was there the record season.
Yeah.
The year that they were the perfection line, Marchand had 32 goals, Pastrnak had 40, and Bergeron had 25.
Yeah, that would have been 21, 22.
Right.
Still can't believe Bergeron. Or no, wait.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So the only person that got to 30 plus
and
goals.
DeBrusque.
Right. That was the record year. In 22-23, that was the record year. Pastrnak had 52 goals. Zacha had 36, and Krejci had... No, I'm sorry. I lied. I was looking at assists. Pasta had 61 goals the record year. Marchand had 21. Bergeron 27. Zacha 21. David Krejci had 16. And Jake DeBrusque had 27. So Pasternak's line mates...
What about him?
They're not... The only one that reached 30 goals was Morgan Geeky, and it was last year. And Brad Marchand one other year. That's it.
No, yeah, because he was at 33 last year. So So how many could Geeky have gotten last year with a full year with Pasta?
And that Montgomery was appeasing Brad Marchand because Brad Marchand wanted to play with Geeky and Coyle.
So
again, if you look at last year, I'm going to go on by what Dom was saying. If you look at last year, right? Pastrnak led the team with 43 goals. Morgan Geeky had 33. Brad Marchand, take him out of the equation because he's gone. And then the next one was Elias Lindholm with 17. How many goals did Elias Lindholm score down the stretch of
once he
those
was
17
healthy,
goals? Of those 17 goals.
Once he was healthy, yeah.
Playing with Pastrnak and Geeky. So why would you break them up? Thank you, Dom. Why would you break them up? Because
I'm not saying you should.
All three of them are scoring threats. All three of them have built the chemistry. They know where each player is on the ice because they've built that chemistry. So why would you break that up when you can build below them with Zacha, Middlestat, Arvidsson, Blumel? You know what I mean? Where you can build that second and third line to get that secondary and third scoring, and you know what I mean? Because if they shut down that top line, then at least they have that secondary scoring that you can get, and you can pull Pastrnak off a line if that line isn't working and move
You can always double shift
for a period, for a shift, for whatever. Plus, you got to think of it too. It just, I don't see, like, the chemistry that Pasta has with Geeky now is the chemistry that Bergeron and Marchand had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They know. So you were never breaking up Bergeron and Marchand unless one of them was injured.
Yeah, I don't see why you should. I'm just saying, at some point, if you need to really shock the system, I wouldn't be surprised to see it. That's all. Real quick, Brandon jumps in. Will you guys be doing an episode on roster projections for opening night?
I would say probably next week would be that, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, because
they have
next week is October 1st, and then the following week is opening night. So yeah, I would say next week we would pretty much, we'll have some cuts probably by then. And because the last preseason game is on the 4th and opening night is the 8th. So I think October 1st is when we'll definitely do projection.
Yeah, because do you think they'll use that that last game on the 4th as their quote unquote dress rehearsal?
Yeah.
Just because they have the 4 days.
I mean, they always have in the past, but then again, Marcus Sturm is a different coach, so we don't know.
It's a home game against the Rangers, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was, just because
the Rangers are going to dress pretty much everyone that game as well.
Yeah, because you're on the road in Washington on Thursday. So
Wednesday.
Thursday the 2nd.
Oh, I thought you meant on opening night.
No. Thursday the 2nd, you're on the road, so you're going to dress, I guess you could call it a lower quality lineup, kind of give those those your Patras, your Mittens, your Blumels, like that last chance to make their impression.
Right.
And then you cut them on Friday, and at home, you're going to do your dress rehearsal so that you can see what your roster looks like. And then you have 4 days, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 3 days really, to fully get them rested, get them to Washington, because you open on the road. And Sunday would be a day off, and then you travel Monday, get a skate in on Tuesday or something like that.
Right. You're gonna get a full practice in on Tuesday and then a morning skate on Wednesday. Yeah.
Unless you're Monty in a pivotal Stanley Cup game. That's why you separate everybody. Dom says, I think Swayman gets a half game and then the full game against the Rangers. That would probably be.
I wouldn't be surprised if Swayman gets the nod Saturday against Philly, and then sits until the Rangers.
Um,
Unless he has them not play on Saturday and then he plays Thursday.
I can see him getting a period on Saturday,
Wait,
and
we're
then
missing a game. We're missing a game because there's 6 games.
what is it, Tuesday? No.
No, Monday. They play Philly on Monday. So they play Philly Saturday and then at home on Monday. And then at Washington Thursday, at home on Saturday. So I could see Swayman getting half a game Monday at home and then the full game Saturday. I could see Swayman getting the 2 home games.
That
or it could be Korpisalo gets the next home game at home and Swayman gets half a game on Thursday. But why did Korpisalo get a full game and why wouldn't Swayman get a full game?
I think the message to Korpisalo was basic. Well, I think it was we saw more from Korpisalo that we liked than we did from DiPietro.
No, I disagree. That's absolutely. Korpisalo has been very vocal about wanting the net and wanting more than 35 games or whatever he played last year. You know what I mean? So again, it's his net to his backup role to lose. So they're going to give him because they didn't shorten the leash when he gave up 3 goals in the second period.
No.
You know what I mean? They gave him the opportunity to go out and win the game. So, and that's exactly what he did. So, but are you going to do that with a guy that is battling a proven goaltender for the backup role?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think we see Kavalin at all. I don't think we see Zajac anymore. I think at this point,
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him on Saturday.
Maybe Zajac may. Honestly, I'd love to see him get the whole game, but
I wouldn't be surprised if him and DiPietro split another game. Because if you think about it, they have 1, 2, 3, 4 preseason games left. So I wouldn't be surprised if DiPietro and him split a game. Korpisalo got another full game, and I wouldn't be surprised if Swayman got a game
or 2 and a half
or 2 games. You know, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because the thing about Swayman is that he's been very vocal too about how last year at camp it affected not being there in camp, not getting the NHL reps. Yes, he was at BU, but he didn't get the NHL reps and he didn't get the preseason games. He's feeding off of what he did down at Worlds, and he wants to prove he's got a bigger chip on his shoulder than anyone in that locker room.
Oh yeah. 100%. I think I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him for a period on Saturday, but that's what I mean is like none of this, like the lines I look at, I'm not surprised by any of them. I'm intrigued more than anything. You know, like I'm trying to take the approach of let's see where this goes simply because they have so many options. Like, would you really be shocked if you saw Swayman for a period in Saturday's game?
I wouldn't be shocked if I saw Swayman for the full game.
That's what I'm saying.
But that's the problem that most, and again, I use that term most, fans have an issue with is it's not the olden days where they didn't dress any veterans, number one. Number two, again, Mako Sturm, new coach, new system. He wants to see what his team has to offer. Each individual player, not just lines, but each individual player. So I wouldn't be surprised if, him and goalie Bob are like, listen, Sway, you had a bad year last year. Corpy could have taken the net from you. Let's see what we have going into the season with 2 full games.
Yeah.
Because Swayman is your starter. We know that, right?
100%.
We know for 100% that Swayman is the starter. We are 98%, if not more. Korpisalo is the backup.
Yeah. I would say yeah at this point. I think DiPietro's fighting to convince him to carry 3 and get an extended look at him at best right now.
Yeah, they're not going to carry 3 though.
I don't see it because he's not. From what I saw the other night, like Dom said, he has to come out and look like UC Saros in his next game, like vintage Vezina winning UC Saros, in order to then make people go, oh, he should stay. And quite frankly, I'm not going to lose sleep about putting him on the waiver wire. I'm really not, because we already know Connor Ingram is now available. We know a few teams that are looking for goaltending help are looking towards Carter Hart, like it or not, they are. So
as long as it's not Boston, I don't give a shit.
So all I'm saying is there's at least 2 other options that aren't Michael DiPietro that are better options on the ice. Off the ice, totally different.
Well, you don't know what Hart's going to bring. He's been off the ice for so long. You don't know how much it affected his
possibly game. Better option.
You don't. Yeah, you definitely don't know how much it affected his game.
No, but
again, he may have he. You know, as much as people want to believe that they have a right to be in the NHL, the locker rooms may be like, no, we don't want them.
Yeah, we've already seen our locker room do that with someone.
Right.
And I know Carter Hart had a very high ceiling, but dude, practically 500 in the NHL. Like, let's not forget that. He's practically 500. His goals against average hovers around 3, and his save percentage is right around league average. Now, if you're Edmonton, that's an upgrade, but they've already said they don't want him.
But again, look at the team he played for.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so, for sure.
You have to take that into consideration, because if you look at what Korpisalo did in LA versus what Korpisalo did in Ottawa versus what Korpisalo did in Boston in stretches, you know what I mean? You have to look at the organization, the team in front of you. I mean, there's so many. A goaltender can only steal so many games.
Right. His save percentage is right around the same as where Spencer Knight's is for his career. And Spencer Knight has a little under 100 games. So, like, okay. But, again, the ceiling is there. He was, what, second round draft pick?
Dom, the Bruins will never bring in any of those 5 players, not after what they went through the last time.
No, they will not. Let's face it. They learned a lesson. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like Carolina's starting to learn that same lesson too. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, I'm just not worried about goaltending. I don't think DiPietro, I mean, even if he gets claimed, he's going to get claimed by a team like a Philly or, you know, Chicago. I mean, Brossoit is still hurt. So, like, okay, like, maybe a team like the Capitals, but even that, like, these teams all have 2 goaltenders on their NHL roster, which means they have to get him through waivers themselves just to get him to their farm system.
Right.
So, like, that's the only reason why Edmonton would make sense, is because the only team that doesn't have to put a claim in for him is Florida, and they could get him into Bakersfield. So it makes sense for them to try. But they've made it pretty clear how they feel on Stuart Skinner too. So
right.
They think he's the guy, whether we like it or not, whether Oilers fans like it or not. They have that confidence, and at the end of the day, he's carried them to 2 cup finals.
Right.
Like, he's been good enough. Has he had opportunity to play better? Yes. Has he been the reason they've lost? No.
Name one goaltender that doesn't have the opportunity to play better.
Maybe Dom.Hockey.
I mean, because even Patrick Waugh made mistakes.
Yeah.
Even Martin Brodeur made mistakes.
We didn't win the Vezina every year.
We watched Patrick Waugh cough up a game-winning goal to New Jersey the year that Ray Bourque won the cup with Colorado.
Yeah, but you didn't know that was because Martin Brodeur? Have a good night, Dom. Yeah, I'm not worried about DiPietro. I'm just not. Is he great? Is he a good third goaltender? He's a good third goaltender, yes, because you're not relying on him for more than 4 or 5 starts in a season at most, ideally. Like, can he come up and give you a shot in the same way that, Antoine Hudobin did his first few years in the league? I would think more like a Manny Fernandez.
So the other
name
thing
from the
too
past
is that even if, say, Korpisalo gets hurt, depending on where they are in the season, and depending on where they are in the standings, he may not even see the ice.
Yeah, I mean, if you figure the split is, I think your ideal split this year is 50-32. That's your ideal.
But again, it depends on where they are in the season. If you look right before the Olympics, they have, because of the holidays and everything else, there's very few games. So depending on where it is, he may not even see the ice.
That's what I mean. Like, if you're looking at it going, we have 82 games this season, your ideal would be, let's say, 55 and what would that make that? 27? Is that math right?
Yeah.
That's your ideal. Obviously, it's not Korpisalo's ideal.
No. Yes, that's right.
So
that's
if you
not
go from,
that's not Korpisalo's ideal at all.
but that means Swayman is playing his best, and you're getting an opportunity from your backup every time you do play him. Now, Korpisalo's job is to then go out and earn 6, 7, 8 more starts, and say, I'm playing better than him right now, and you need to keep playing me right now. And so then Korpisalo's job is to take a few of those away and make it a 50-32 split.
Ideally, if anyone gets hurt, it has to be in February. They only have 4 games.
Yeah, if they're going to miss a month, that's the month to miss.
Right.
But in general, I'm not that worried about it, because let's say you get a dead even split, 40 and 42, which is what you got when you had Omar here, right? In, what was it, the 2 or 3 seasons that we had those 2 guys together, how many games did the third goaltender play? Less than 10 in 2 years. That's what you'd be expecting from DiPietro.
All right, let's move on. I feel like
where do you want to go to?
I feel like we're beating a dead horse now.
Where do you want to go to from here?
Let's go how disappointed I am in Soderstrom.
Okay. I'm disappointed in him too.
I was expecting so much more from him.
I think it's coming back to the American ice. It's a whole new team, whole new system. I think I want to believe that it's a perfect storm of all of those factors working against him. Now, does that mean he makes the roster out of camp because of all those? No. I really do think he needs a little bit of time to readapt. I think yesterday his game got a little bit better as the game went on.
When do you think, how many more games do you think they give him? I think, in all honesty, I think, in all honesty, he plays every preseason game.
I was gonna say maybe 2.
I think that they want to give him every opportunity, and he's not playing with. He hasn't played with Lindholm. He hasn't played with Lindholm and McAvoy. You know what I mean? Like, if you like, Lindholm hasn't seen the ice yet. McAvoy only played one
That's
game.
weird. I would want to get Lindholm out there.
Right.
I would be willing to bet Lindholm sees Saturday's game.
Right. So, I mean, Zadorov's played 2, but you still don't have your top 2 defensemen out on the ice yet with him. You
By
know
the
what
way,
I mean?
I like Soderstrom much better with Callahan than I did with Zadorov.
Yeah, Zadorov has a different game. He plays like,
Well, yeah, that's a good way to put it. What did you think of his celebration when he got the game winner yesterday?
I thought
walking down the tunnel.
Like, he's just like, dude, it's preseason. We won. Let's go. You know what I mean?
He came back out on the ice to celebrate.
He did come back out on the ice, and he joked around. He joked around after the game saying, I just wanted to get home to my family. But I mean, if you think about it, he had a better game last night than he did against Washington.
Oh, for everybody.
And
anybody who put skates on did.
But if you look at it, Isimon's first goal was when he was in the box.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and I know a lot of people like, oh my God, penalties when it comes to Zadorov.
It's preseason.
Number one, it's preseason. Number two, like last year, again, he played better down the stretch than he did, in the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And now he's got another new coach. So he's already been through, now he's on his third coach in a season and a week. Yeah. He's on his third coach, 1 season and a week.
There's a little bit of frustration. I thought the look on Don Zleshmelos' face was hilarious, though, when he saw him walking down the tunnel. He just turned around and looked and he went, where the hell's he going?
Right. Yeah.
So
I think that we're gonna see a better Zadorov this year.
Yeah.
I think that
good response from Sturm calling him out, though, between games.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't call it a full-blown calling him out. He just said we need more from him.
He's also not going to cower and be a baby about it.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, Zadorov is going to take his lumps and he's going to turn around and try and do better. Is he going to be a perfect defenseman? No, but that's why you have Charlie McAvoy and Hampus Lindholm.
Right.
He's your third pairing. It's not like in Calgary where you know what I mean? Or earlier when he was like your top pairing. He's your third pairing. And if you want to shut someone down, you can put him with McAvoy.
Right. But he's also on the team to bring the physical presence that you need in the playoffs when you're going against a Matthew Tkachuk and a Sam Bennett and those guys.
But even Toronto, to push around Toronto.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Think about it. Think about Austin Matthews running into that freight train.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. You're gonna frustrate them. That's what he's here for. You need him in the regular season because you can't just add him to your playoff roster.
Right.
But that's why you take the good, the bad, and the ugly that you get from him. Because
that's why you took
pairing.
The good, the bad, the ugly from David Pastrnak.
Yep.
How many times are we going to listen to Bruins fans this upcoming season about his turnovers?
That's the good, the bad, and the ugly is the turnovers. Right. He's going to get the turnovers because he's doing everything else.
Right.
And he is your best player. And if you have any doubt, look at anyone else he's on that list with, because they are going to have the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's just more worth it from them because they put up 100+ points.
Right. Yeah. Am I going to take the good, the bad, the ugly from Casey Middlestat? No.
If he can be a 50-point centerman for you on your second line or third line, like that's when you start to have the question, like how bad is the ugly? How bad is the bad?
Right.
That's
again. if you're going to put up 20 goals, 30 assists, or 15 goals, 35 assists, if you're going to give me around those numbers, then I'm okay.
Yeah.
But if you're putting up 10 points across the board,
Beecher.
The good, the bad, and the ugly don't work. There's
Yeah.
too many bad and uglies if you're only putting up 10 points. And I'm talking about a Casey Middlestat. I'm not talking about a John Beecher.
No,
John
I'm just
Beecher's
saying
on the
John
fourth
Beecher
line.
was only in that 10-point range.
Right. But
And
you get what I'm saying. Like
his goods are much smaller. His bads are much smaller, but that's where we talk about a player's ceiling and a player's floor. Because John Beecher, the reason why he would make this team is because he is consistent. You're not going to get a lot of scoring from him, but you're not going to get a lot of simple, stupid mistakes from him either. You're going to get speed, forechecking, physicality, and decent face-off numbers. Consistency.
I like how you changed that.
I thought you would appreciate that. But that's what you're going to get from him. And you know what? For whatever he's going to cost you, $950,000 against your cap, that's fine. Mm-hmm. That's all you're looking for. That's what you get out of, Fraser Mitten right now. You're getting a solid two-way game, decent to good on the face-off dot. Like, you're not expecting him to be a point producer. He has the intelligence to get some assists. So if you can get 20 assists from him and 7 or 8 goals from him, that's great.
Who are you talking about?
Minton.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, Beecher's had that opportunity, he hasn't put up those numbers.
No, not Beecher. But that's where, like, if you're looking at the two of them and you have 22 of your 23 roster spots filled, and you go, we have one more spot, who are we going to give it to? Minton over Beecher.
But I'm not sure it even comes down to Minton and Beecher. I think it comes down to
no. I'm not saying it does. I'm just saying, like, that's how you are looking at. Okay, so David Pastrnak, has anybody beat him out? No. Elias Lindholm, no. Morgan Geekie, no. All right, so So now you're down to 20 more positions on your roster, and you still need the rest of your forward group, your D, and you know what I mean. Like, that's how they're going to look at filling it out. And it's going to come down to basically 4 forward spots and a 7th D.
Right.
That's what it's coming down to. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm saying DiPietro has to prove
this team is not carrying 3 goaltenders.
I don't think they will.
They are not. The Bruins have never carried 3 goaltenders.
That's my entire point. That is the hurdle he has to jump over. Is to say that it's worth carrying 3, and that's such a hefty hurdle. It's not going to happen. It's just
never going to happen. Never going to happen.
That's my point. So maybe they carry 8 defensemen.
No,
but I don't see that either.
So they won't do that because the only time they would ever carry 8 defensemen is if they were going on a long road trip. And someone was had a lingering.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I'm just saying, they're more likely to carry 8 defensemen than 3 goaltenders.
Yeah, it's still not going to happen though.
Not with the forward group. They have a better forward group than people give them credit for.
Well, and I think again, what people haven't seen is even in practice, Group A and Group B. Even Group A and Group B, preseason, everything. And like you've said, I don't know, 5 times tonight, the lineups that you're seeing in practices and preseason is not the lineup you're going to see come October 8th.
Yeah. I'm working on what I think it'll be. Who gets past the cuts as they go along. I do appreciate Dom's correction that game count goes into effect next season, not this year, which is helpful. I mean, we got 4 preseason games left, right? Otherwise, I'm just trying to check through my game notes here for anything else. Was there anything else that stuck out for you? Any other ones? I know we gotta wrap up a little bit here. We got about 7 or 8 minutes left here.
No, I'm curious to see who else picks up where they left off, right? Because Morgan
Yep.
Geeky did. So
Yeah, and I thought as bad as that first game was, I thought it was telling that they got better as the game went on. They got better as the game went on in game 2. They obviously were able to complete the comeback there. Do you know what their practice schedule is this week?
yeah, so they obviously had today off. Tomorrow, Group A at 10, Group B at 11:45. Same thing on Friday. And then Saturday, they have a 9 a.m. morning skate before they travel to Philly. And then on Sunday, 11 a.m. practice. And it's just 11 practice. So there's no Group A or B on
Yeah,
Saturday.
I think that's when they on Sunday, you mean, right? The
Yeah, Sunday.
28th? Yeah, I think that's when they'll be down to they'll have made some cuts by then, and
Yeah.
I think Providence might start that Monday. I'd have
Yeah.
to check. I
And
haven't
then
seen
on
an official one.
Monday the 29th, they have a morning skate at Warrior. Then they host Philadelphia. Tuesday is a scheduled day off. Wednesday practice, Thursday practice, travel to Washington, Friday practice, and then Saturday, because it's a 2:00 game, no morning skate.
Yeah, 2 o'clock game. Oh,
You're
just
welcome.
seems off. So, yeah. Any let's see. Any updates on the fleet while I'm thinking about it?
No, thank you for asking. But yeah, no. Seattle had their media day today. I haven't had the chance to look at anything about their media day, but Seattle had their media day today. I have not heard a peep from Boston. So no updates on the fleet as of yet.
Okay. Oh, actually, as I was looking through my notes from game 1, Minton, Liesel were with Jeannot the first game and then with Easymont the second game.
Mhm.
I think that tells you a little bit more about Sturm's mindset when it comes to the lines, as far as at least that third line.
Yeah.
He's okay with having some young players there, but they need that physical banger leader veteran on that third line. And quite frankly, it could come down to the four of them basically on that third line, with Easymont and Jeannot just kind of rotating in depending on opponent, because they play very different offensively.
And before we sign off, we have to talk about one last thing.
Go ahead.
How freaking gorgeous those road unis are.
Yeah. I have to admit,
that white is so crisp.
When I first saw the unis in general, I kind of looked at the logo and I went, that logo looks too big, like just in the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing them skate around with it, I'm like, no.
I mean, I personally love the white jerseys anyways. I've always loved the white jerseys. I wish the white would be the home jersey again. I don't know why they ever changed it. They need to go back, just like they need to go back 1 to 8 in the playoffs. But they need to. The white jerseys are just so clean. They're just so spot on.
How would you feel about a yellow alternate?
No, I hate the yellow.
I saw somewhere someone made a post about it, and because I think they had the yellow in practice.
So actually, the yellow, if it's yellow, if it's not that mustard Pooh Bear or yellowish orange,
yeah.
If it's actually yellow, then I would be okay with that if that was their alternate.
The true gold that they have on the uniform right now.
Yes, absolutely. But yes, Shaz Diet,
I believe her name is Shannon. Correct me if I'm wrong. I apologize if I'm wrong. I believe
yes, 100% they should be wearing the white jerseys at home. Those white jerseys are just freaking beautiful.
Also, at home, it allows you to see the incoming team's road colors.
Well, that's how it used to always. That's how it always was.
Right. But like,
You know.
if I'm seeing Connor McDavid come to the Garden, I want to see him in Edmonton blue, not Edmonton white,
Right.
because I'm in my home blacks.
Right.
Like,
Hi, Sharon.
Sharon, sorry about that, Sharon. I knew it was one of the two, and I picked the wrong one. But yes, it I don't know why they went away from that.
Even Connor Bedard. I want to see him in a red Blackhawks jersey, not the white one.
Yes. Even
Yeah.
if they wore their black alternates,
Right.
like that would be fine too.
But they can't wear the black alternates if the Bruins are at home wearing the black jerseys.
Rantanen come to town in Dallas green.
Right. Yeah.
Or black with the lime green
Or
piping.
even the San Jose teal. Who wants to see the San Jose white? I want to see the San Jose teal.
Yeah.
I want to see the Nashville yellow.
That's the yellow that Boston can't use.
Right. No, on Nashville, it's fine. Not in Boston. No.
Well, it's because it's not with black. It's because it's with the navy blue.
Right.
It's just enough different. So, you think Nashville's going to be any better this year?
No.
So,
I hope Steven Stamkos has a bounce back season. But
they really are a wild card in that division this year, because I don't think they're as bad as what we saw last year by any stretch. I think they're much more middle of the pack. Man, if you need a player, call Barry Trotz.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if he knows what he's doing over there. So, and now they've got the lockout with Evangelista, the lockout with or the holdout with Mason McTavish is still going on. Luke Hughes is still holding out. So lots of drama around the league. I'm just glad our drama is who plays best together on a line.
Right.
Not Jeremy Swayman's contract holdout anymore.
Not anymore. Nope. Thank God that's long gone.
So,
all right, sir. I know you have to get going.
Yes, I have to get going. It's been a great show. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We will be back again next week. Same
for
time,
our roster predictions.
Yeah, 6:30 next week, I think.
So it should be an awesome debate next week.
We're gonna have to come ready for that one, because I think we'll have a lot of the same, but it's those 3 or 4 that we're gonna disagree on.
Yeah, we're gonna overlap on a few, but yeah, there is gonna be some battles.
So with that, we will see everyone next week, and enjoy the game coming up on Saturday. And